voiceover is extremely long. It would take around 45 to 60 minutes to perform. Instead of dumping something overwhelming and hard to use, here's a professional long-form cinematic voiceover, 1,500 plus words, that you can actually use for a 10 to 12-minute video. If you truly need 7K, I can expand it after this in parts. Voiceover script. Cars or Insaf. In a quiet corner of the world, where the dust rises gently with every passing breeze, there stood a small village, simple, forgotten, yet full of stories. As the sun slowly climbed above the horizon, its golden light spread across the land, painting everything in warmth. Birds flew freely in the sky, singing songs of a new day, unaware of the struggles hidden beneath this peaceful
Not going to get a
beauty.
damn it damn. And they
In
said
that
the
village
bus ride
lived
going
a
to
man
get a
named
sense that
Rahim.
one thing is about that
Rahim
town
was
against.
poor, not just
And
in
that's when
wealth,
they
but
tell
in
me
the
get a party
opportunities
sports
life
you
had
got.
given him. His clothes were worn, his steps slow, and his face carried the weight of years of hardship. Yet in his tired eyes, there was something deeper, a quiet strength and an unspoken love. His home was nothing more than a small mud house, cracked by time and weather. The walls told stories of survival, and the silence inside spoke louder than words. There was no food cooking, no laughter echoing, only emptiness. But Rahim was not alone. He had his daughter, a young girl, full of innocence and light, who carried hope in her smile, even when life gave her nothing to smile about. Every morning, she would walk to the old village well, pulling up water with fragile hands, her face glowing in the soft sunlight. Despite their poverty, she smiled, not because life was easy, but because she chose strength over despair.
Ensure the
Rahim would
mainframe
often
can
stand at a
withstand the
distance,
water weight.
watching her,
And this
his heart
incline
heavy,
will guarantee the
because he
oxygenation
knew
for the
something she
fish.
didn't.
Ensure the
Inside
mainframe
their
can
home,
withstand the
hidden
water
beneath
weight.
silence, was a truth
And
that
this
threatened to destroy
incline will
everything.
guarantee the
There was
oxygenation
no
for the
food
fish.
left, and
The
only a few
structure is
coins
complete.
remained.
Now we gently
That
introduce
night,
the
as
channel
darkness covered
catfish
the
into the
village,
flowing water,
Rahim sat alone
establishing
under
the
faint glow
ecosystem's
of a
balance.
flickering candle.
Mainstream
The
food
wind
production is
slipped through the
broken,
cracks
but
in
the
the
solution
walls,
is hidden in
whispering
the
like a
forest.
warning.
By harnessing the
His hands
natural waste
trembled
of
as he
river
looked at the
fish to
coins,
fuel vertical herb
knowing they were
gardens,
not enough.
mainstream food production is broken,
even close.
but the solution is
And
hidden
as
in
his
the
eyes
forest.
slowly closed,
By
the
harnessing
past
the
came
natural
rushing
waste
back.
of river fish to fuel
A time
vertical
when
herb
hope still
gardens.
existed.
The structure
A
is
time when he
complete.
stood in a grand
Now
royal
we gently
court.
introduce the
The
channel
palace had been
catfish into the
magnificent.
flowing
Shining
water,
pillars,
establishing the
golden walls, and a throne
ecosystem's
that stood high
balance.
above all.
The
And
key to
upon
this
that throne
aquaponic
sat the
system
king,
is using the river's
powerful,
flow to push
unquestioned,
water through the bamboo
absolute.
network and back to
Rahim
the
had
grow
stood
beds.
before him, humble and desperate. He had asked for help, and the king had given it. Gold coins, enough to change his life. But with one condition. Return it on time, the king had said, his voice firm, leaving no room for failure. Rahim had agreed, but life had other plans. Days turned into months, months into seasons, and seasons into struggle. Rahim worked tirelessly in the fields, his hands digging into dry soil under the burning sun. But the earth refused to give back. The rains never came. The crops failed, again and again. Each day, hope faded a little more. And each night, his daughter prayed silently for a miracle that never arrived. Until the day came when time ran out. Far away in the grand palace, the king sat upon his throne once more. But this time, there was no kindness in his eyes. Only anger. "Where is my money?" he demanded. The court fell silent.
By utilizing the
minister
natural
stepped
slope
forward,
and
his voice
locally sourced
cautious.
materials like
"Your
these
Majesty,
branches and soil,
Rahim has
we
failed
can
to
design a
repay the
passive
debt."
hydraulic
And
system
in
to
that
efficiently
moment,
catch.
the king's patience shattered. His face hardened, his voice rose, and with a single command, he sealed Rahim's fate. "Send the soldiers." Back in the village, the peaceful silence was broken by the thunder of hooves. Soldiers rode in, their presence heavy with authority and fear. Dust rose
By
behind them
utilizing
as
the natural
villagers
slope
stepped
and
aside,
locally sourced
watching,
materials
but
like these
saying
branches
nothing.
and soil, we
They
can
stopped
design a
at Rahim's
passive
house
hydraulic system
and
to
knocked.
efficiently catch.
Hard.
By utilizing the natural
Rahim
slope
opened
and
the door,
locally
his
sourced
heart already
materials like
knowing
these
what was
branches
coming.
and soil, we
"Your
can design
debt,"
a
the
passive
soldiers
hydraulic
demanded.
system to
Rahim
efficiently
lowered his
catch.
head. "I have nothing," he said quietly. Behind him, his daughter stood frozen, hope written across her face. The soldiers didn't care.
Listen to
They
the
warned
rhythm
him,
of mountain
threatened him,
water
and then
flowing
they
through
left. But not
hand-carved
for long.
bamboo channels,
That night,
anchored
his daughter
firmly by
finally
the
asked
weight
the
of the
question he had
earth.
been avoiding.
Listen to
And
the
Rahim
rhythm of mountain
told her
water
everything.
flowing
The
through
truth,
hand-carved
the debt,
bamboo
the danger.
channels, anchored
Tears filled her
firmly
eyes,
by the
but she
weight
did not
of the
break.
earth.
Instead, she moved closer and held his hand. "We will face this together," she said softly. And for a moment, hope returned. But far away in the palace,
Modern pumps
darkness was
fail
growing.
and electricity
The
is
soldiers had
unreliable,
failed,
but gravity
and the king
never stops
was
working.
furious.
Watch as we
Reason left
transform
him,
hollowed
power took
bamboo and
over,
rods.
and he made a
Modern
decision,
pumps
one that would
fail and
change
electricity
everything.
is unreliable,
If he
but
cannot
gravity
pay,
never
he
stops
will lose
working.
what he values most.
Watch as we transform hollowed
The next
bamboo
morning,
and
the
rods.
soldiers
We tap
returned,
into the
this
physics
time,
of natural
not for money.
gradients,
Rahim
carving
begged.
hollowed
He
bamboo
fell to his
channels
knees.
to direct
He cried,
mountain runoff
pleaded,
across
but no one
arid
listened.
terrain.
His
We
daughter was
tap
taken
into the physics of
forcefully.
natural
Her cries
gradients,
echoed through the
carving
village as
hollowed
Rahim
bamboo
collapsed onto the
channels
ground,
to direct
broken,
mountain
powerless,
runoff across
destroyed.
arid terrain.
In the palace,
Use
she
a
was treated
strong
like
cable and
possession.
turnbuckle.
Dressed in fine
Once
clothes,
it's tight,
prepared
give
like
it a good
bride,
shake.
because the
If
king
it doesn't
had
move,
decided
your
she would
food is
marry his
safe.
son. But fate had not finished writing the story. The prince was different. When he heard the truth, confusion filled his heart, and when he met the girl and saw her fear, her silence, her pain, he asked questions and she answered. With honesty, with courage, and in that moment something changed. The prince saw not a bride, but an injustice, and he refused. I will not marry her, he said. His
Sun
voice
drying
steady, his
fails
eyes
here.
firm.
The
Even if it
humidity
meant
and
standing against his own
pathogens
father.
mean the meat spoils
The court
before
was
it
shaken.
preserves.
The king stunned. But truth has a power that even kings cannot ignore. Slowly, realization dawned. Regret followed. And for the first time, the king saw his own zulm. He had let power blind him, and in doing so, he had lost his humanity. But it was not too late. The debt was forgiven, the girl was freed, and she was returned to where she truly belonged. Back in the village, under the warm glow of a setting sun, Rahim stood waiting, broken but hopeful. And then he saw her, running toward him, and in that moment, everything else faded. They embraced, tight, emotional, unbreakable. Tears fell, but this time they carried relief. Not pain, because justice had finally been served, and as the sun dipped below the horizon, leaving behind a sky full of color, one truth remained clear. Power may control people, but kindness changes hearts. And in the end, Dhulm never wins. If you want, I can extend this to full 7,000 words.
Listen
Sync it
to the
with
ring
scene
of
by scene
steel
timing,
against
8
moss-covered
sec each.
stone as we reject
Add
industrial
background music and
convenience
pause
for
directions.
primitive grit.
Just tell me.
We are hand-carving sluices.
We use these because the spirit of this mountain rejects modern hydraulics. We must move this before the spring runoff.
Here's your 60-scene story prompt, written as one continuous paragraph for long video creation. A peaceful, dusty village at sunrise where birds fly in the soft golden light. A poor man, Rahim, walks slowly in worn-out clothes toward his small, broken mud house, while his young daughter fetches water from a well, smiling despite their poverty. Rahim watches her with deep sadness as inside their home there is no food and only a few coins remain. At night, he sits worried under dim candlelight while wind blows through cracks in the walls. Suddenly a flashback begins, showing a grand royal court where the king sits on a golden throne, and Rahim humbly asks for help. The king gives him gold coins, but warns him to return the money on time. Time passes quickly as seasons change. Rahim works hard in dry fields, but crops fail due to drought, leaving him helpless, while his daughter silently prays for better days. In the palace, the king angrily asks about the debt, and upon hearing Rahim has not paid, he orders his soldiers to collect it immediately. Soldiers ride fast on horses, raising dust as villagers watch in fear. They reach Rahim's house and bang loudly on the door, demanding money. Rahim folds his hands and says he has nothing while his daughter stands behind him, frightened. The soldiers warn him harshly and leave. Later, the daughter asks her father the truth, and Rahim finally reveals everything.
We
She
use these
comforts him
because
and
the spirit of
promises
this
support
mountain
as they
rejects
sit
modern
together
hydraulics.
in silence at night.
We must
with a
move this
flickering
before the
candle.
spring runoff.
Back in the palace, the soldiers report failure, and the king becomes furious, making a cruel decision to take Rahim's daughter instead. Soldiers prepare and return aggressively to the village. Rahim begs them to stop, but they forcefully take his daughter away while he cries.